Hello Gwenters and welcome to another Sum Up Sunday. We're going to be wrapping things up pretty quickly in this video, so stick around. First things first, please wish a welcome goodbye to Arena as we know it. I really did like the interface change. It was a little bit easier to understand if you knew what all the numbers were for, this being units, this being specials. In case you're wondering, I'm streaming right after I make this video to give it one last final goodbye. But for those of you who aren't aware, I'm going to flip over. I personally think Devil Driven had like the best video on this, although he's just like basing an entire video off of this screenshot, and I'm going to blow this up full size for you guys. Nobody really knows what it means. We don't really know that it's actually even going to end up this way. Just because the devs leaked something on the Merchants of Novigrad's podcast doesn't mean that this is exactly what we're going to see. I do want to point out, though, for my own purposes, I have been sick and tired of removal, and I would welcome some of these card categories being added to the game and decks being limited to including those in competitive play on ladder. Like, go ahead, use these in seasonal, as many of the same type of card as you want, but I'm just kind of tired of like endless offensive cards. Don't know about you guys. That's the first thing I wanted to point out. So, Arena's going goodbye, and for those of you who are wondering if you can see the official comments, you can come over to playgwent.com. Arena is evolving. Today is the day we start talking about the future of Arena in Gwent. If you follow them on Twitter, Burza and Slama have been talking about this for a while. They're going to be refunding all your ore for unfinished runs, so go ahead and just get the losses to finish up whatever you're doing. That way you can at least get a better reward than the 150 ore. I find that you usually at least get your investment back if you win 3 matches, so go do that. If you can get 9 wins, I don't know if it's guaranteed, but I always get a legendary card when I do that, so really worthwhile. Anyway, otherwise, they currently aim to release an open beta of our new draft mode before the end of the year. But we have to bear with them if they miss it. So anyway, just keep in mind that it's going to change at some point by the end of the year, maybe. On to more relevant news. Biggest things I think this week that I really like to see, Aretuza is launching a Gwent League. Go ahead, look them up on Twitter at Team Aretuza. They've added a couple new content creators, Kyle, the beardy one, and Kalanetta for Gwent. I don't play Legends of Runeterra myself, but if you're into that scene, they've also added a couple of streamers there. And then I think last but not least, I will run through their meta snapshot. They are finally back on the wagon, getting stuff done for Gwent. I really like Team Aretuza. Although I will have to say I find their meta list a little derivative, but we'll get to that in a minute. Just know this is a free tournament to join if you're just all about fun, free tourneys. Check this one out. I'm excited. I've joined it. Look for me on the bracket if you're joining. But that's all I got. Whole other thing, Gwent was given Best Polish Mobile Game of 2019 at the Digital Dragons Award. I don't know of any other Polish mobile games, but I do love it. So cool, great for them. Other than that, not a whole lot going on. Just know that Siri is halfway through her journey. So make sure you're making progress. If you're falling behind, you can always catch up. It's pretty easy. Just my recommendation is just go do some seasonal matches and get some great progress there. Yeah, that's it. I do love this screenshot. Try to win rounds and don't waste points. End it close, right? Okay. Meta snapshot from Team Aretuza. They have here Shield Wall as number 1. And you can just go to teamaretuza.com/Gwent/meta-snapshot, meta-snapshot, I guess. Notably, their recommendation has Bloody Baron instead of the War Elephant that some of these decks are rocking. I think that the mid-range with Donamir, Dandelion, and Visigoda is just a little bit better. If you were watching my Twitch stream yesterday, though, you'll see how Bleeding Elves does a pretty good job of wrecking this deck. I think that the War Elephant deck actually does a little bit better against the Bleeding Elves, but Bleeding Elves is one of my favorite counters to Shield Wall, and it's good against some of the other decks. I think one of the problems that this season is seeing is Shield Wall has set a bit of an anchor with this Symbiosis Non-Devotion Perpetual Removal deck kind of coming in second, and Skellige Warriors coming in third. All of those decks running so much removal, it's hard to get things to stick, and so it's hard to find decks that are competitive against both Shield Wall and the other decks that you're going to run into on ladder. I think that Bleeding Elves is my favorite one to play. I also leave with a clean conscience because I'm not running pure removal like many of the other competitive decks out there, but it exists. Next, they've got Overwhelming Hunger. I don't love the deck. I think that it could use some spiciness. I did see a really fun one on ladder that used Glusty Warp with Frightener, which was just kind of an awesome combo to get out a 12-point card and Frightener from eating up all the drones. And then obviously a big tall card in Glusty, so check that one out. Mid-range Ball, Shiru, Congregate I think is really good. I think it's underappreciated. I think that if you know how to play well and you know how to tempo correctly, you can wreck nerds with this deck, and I think it deserves a little bit more credit than just being a dark horse. But that's all I will say for that. Last but not least, this week I'm going to be doing a couple of different things. We've done a lot of decks this season. This has been my first season doing a deck a day. And it is a little bit exhausting given that the meta is a little bland for intra-faction stuff, so we've had to be creative. We have come up with good templates. We have been creative to get some wins. But this week I'm going to try to be doing some reviews of each of the decks for each of the factions, kind of what's going on out there, what are some interesting stuff you can check out, how you can find other decks, etc., etc. So make sure to check back in for those videos this week. Let me know what you think, and as always, I just really appreciate all the support you guys have given me. We've over 250 subscribers now to the channel. I think we have a couple videos that are really close, if not over 1,000 views. So just really grateful. Grateful for all of those who are on my Discord, and especially for those of you who are joining Twitch. Really close to the 50 follower threshold. So if you haven't followed me, please follow me on Twitch. Link is above in the description. And as always, get out there. And until next time, keep on Gwenting.